So you had done Red Eye, and then so how did you meet Bill?
So I was just bartending. I had left Fox. It had been like maybe 6 months, and I had got like a few acting gigs here and there, but I was like, this sucks. And it was actually through Twitter. There was a fan on Twitter, and they're probably watching. I can't remember who you are, but you know who you
Super
are.
fan?
Who reached out to Bill and was like, or tweeted at both of us and was like, Joanne should come on the show. And I was like, I'll totally come on as a guest. Like, why not? Also because like I had known Anthony. He had been on Red Eye a bunch of times, was so kind. I always thought he was so funny. And I was like, great. I had also, I think, been on Anthony's show before, like while I was at Fox, which is crazy that they even let me like go on it, but they did. So I went on as a guest, and then Bill, we went out for drinks after, like he always does. Well, pre-COVID. We're slowly getting back to it.
Yeah.
But he said that, you know, the show was great with me on, and he was thinking about having a co-host join him. And I was like, yeah, sure. So I sat down with Keith the cop at the time, who was in charge of those things. And he was very excited about it just because of, you know, the Fox viewership and having a woman at the network. And so, yeah, I was just like, great. And then he was like, you get paid this much. And I was like, great, thanks.
Ah, nice. Would you have done? You're like, would you have done it for free? Probably not. I mean, you're like, well, you're looking to survive.
I was thinking of just like it not being like an actual job. I was just like a few bucks, and I was like, it'll help with the bartending and whatever. But I was like, oh, okay, like. Because it is a commitment. Like we're on 4 days a week. Like it's my main job, you know? Yeah. So yeah. And then the rest is history.
When you first met Anthony Cumia, did you know, a lot of people, they hear the rumors or they read up, they have the worst kind of impression of him just because they take more so what they hear rather than like the person in front of them that they're meeting. Was there any of that going on for you? Were you just like, oh, this guy's great, he's a good person, there's a good vibe here?
Yeah, I can only judge people on how they treat me, like always. Yeah, so it's just I was always treated very well and with respect, you know, and that goes for my whole time at Fox too. Like people will ask about, you know, I've sat and chatted with Tucker in the green room and Hannity, and, you know, I sat and did an interview with Donald Trump and like.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. For Greg's show. This was before he announced he was running for president. So I guess this was in like 2015.
How was it? How was meeting Trump?
It was great. He makes you feel so important.
Wow.
And so I have always said, I understand why people who, especially people who meet him or go to rallies or have the chance to shake his hand, like him. It's because he makes you feel important. He really does. I think that's like the businessman in him. You know, and Greg kept saying he was obsessed with me, kissed me on both cheeks, whatever. So again, I can only speak to my own experiences. And, you know, Anthony was great to me. And so I was like, this is a job. And I'm going to treat it like that. You know, I think it's also the actor too. It's this idea of like, my identity isn't in the job I'm doing. It's just the job I'm doing. But people really like to associate what you do with who you are, unfortunately. Yeah. So I understand why some people are like, oh my God, aren't you nervous? I'm like, no. Maybe if Compound Media wasn't subscription-based, then I'd be a little more nervous, but I don't know.
Yeah, if you're subscribing, you're a fan. How did it feel knowing you were the first like female talent to be hired to the network?
It was kind of cool. I kind of knew. I mean, we never get told numbers or stats or anything about the viewers, but I was certainly under the impression that there's more male viewers than female.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And they were hoping that I would also bring over some more female viewers just because there were a lot of them from Red Eye, like a lot of these like breastfeeding moms who were up at 3 a.m. I'm not even kidding.
Breastfeeding, Joanne.
You know, so they so I don't know if I helped bring over more female viewership. Also, when we used to do ad reads, there was this idea of like, we could get more advertisers for like a female friendly product or whatever. So, but I don't know. I guess I just know how to hold my own around a bunch of guys, because I've just kind of always done it, whether it was like at Red Eye or even before that, like in theater. Certainly there's many people in the cast, but like the back of house, it's all men who are on the crew and whatever. So, yeah. And I just have a diluted amount of self-confidence. So I'm like, I'll be fine.
Yeah, you're fun. You're like a good, but you also like don't try to be one of the boys either. Like you're very comfortable and confident in who you are.
I hate that. I absolutely hate women. I hate women. No, I hate when women say, I'm a guy's girl. No, all my friends are guys. I like really I understand football or like basketball or whatever it might be. And it's like, that's great. The fact that you keep needing to say it is what makes me suspect, you know? So, yeah, I wouldn't say I'm a guy's girl, but I am a girl for everyone. You're shocked by my statement that you are frozen. You are frozen solid. There you are. There's 2 of you now.
God, I'm competing. Okay. I don't know what's up with that. God, I'm so sorry about that. I'll fix it in post. Okay. Yeah. So you hate it when somebody says I'm one of the guys, when a girl says that.
Yeah, it's because especially if you're saying it to a girl, it's like, what are you trying to tell me? You don't want to be my friend? I don't understand why you feel the need to make that known. Yeah. Like if that's who you are, it's just who you are. Like you don't necessarily need to lead with that. And I see that happening a lot.
So did you get much, or have you over the years gotten a lot of crap for being associated with compound meat? Just because I know that I did a lot at first, but that was during my like breaking away from the left period. So I just was wondering if like you went through something similar.
I think coming from Fox, no. I was a little worried about some of my friends who are super liberal. But again, it's like subscription based. So like they don't really know everything that happens at the network. And certainly mine and Bill's show is like the tamest, I would say, of all of them.
I love Mornin so much. I think it was like In Hot Water was the first show on Compound I'd been on, but then I very quickly did Mornin, and I was like, I loved it. I love the show so much. Like you guys, it's like you're funny, you're smart. Like you talk about the news. It's light. It's like it's a nice light palate cleanser, and it's so needed, especially now. Like every time you turn on anything that's remotely news, it's like it can get too heavy. It can be too much. So was that how the show always has been? Did you have a lot of, would Bill ask you, did you sort of help to shape the show, or was it like, here's a specific role, we need you to be this?
Yeah. We definitely took our lead, I think, from Red Eye. So how we would prepare for that show, like again, it being a panel style show with personalities and comedians on, this idea of like, let's find weird news, funny stuff, or like an interesting take on what's already being discussed. Let's add video, like weird video, animals, whatever, and just make it kind of zany and just unexpected and fun. And so Bill is certainly more into the like segments and video and stuff, and I'm thinking about like the poor person who just listens to us as they drive. I'm like, this must suck for them.
See it. Yeah.
And I love conversation. I love like engaging with our guests. So I think between the two of us, we kind of have like all of that covered. But I even just emailed him today after like spending an hour trying to look for fun stories to talk about. I was like, I could only find these 2. The news is really depressing today. So here's the like beginning of The Sopranos. They dropped the trailer for like that prelude.
I heard about this. Yeah. And like they're going to have like the son be a character.
Okay. Can I tell you? So James Gandolfini's son plays a young Tony Soprano. looks exactly like him. Like looks
Wow.
like what Tony Soprano would have looked like as a kid in Newark, New Jersey. As he should. I mean, he's his son, but I'm actually excited for this. I think it's going to be really good. So like I found that and one other like weird TikTok video, but
That's
yeah,
good.
sometimes the news is just like too depressing and it's like why does anyone want to tune in and like to us to see that? You know, you could see that anywhere else.
And you have such a light, upbeat personality. Like I feel like I don't know, you handle yourself so well. I've never seen you like depressed or like upset. I mean, like you're just like you stay, especially when the news is so depressing. Like I just
Mm-hmm.
appreciate that you're just like naturally so light and fun and bubbly.
Yeah, I just always try to find the funny. I think that's like what you have to do. Um, yeah, I don't, maybe I should let things affect me more. I don't know. I don't know why I don't. I was thinking about that recently. Like, I used to be so much more emo in like college to the point of like, I think it was good for me as an actor. And now I think I'm just a little numb. I think, you know, I kind of had to be for so long. Um, but no, it's all perspective. I think it's the Libra in me, honestly. I'm
Is that your
just
sun sign?
it is. So I'm trying,
Oh,
you know, I never try to be too much of one thing or the other. I can see every side. I'm a natural mediator.
yeah, you're
So
balanced.
yeah,
You like are concerned with justice.
yeah.
Yeah.